All right. Good morning, guys. So before we start today's session, so we have 6 people in the classroom and 10 online. And welcome to Kirti and Nitin. So before we start today's session, right? So I would, I would like to show you some requirements, some peculiar requirement that I got today. Okay, just 1 minute, guys. Okay. So you remember in the demo session or in one of the last week session, I told that. So you remember that today morning session also we had discussed. This is morning sessions class notes document. May 2025 batch timings are 8 to 9:30. 8 to 9 actually. It got extended today. Today only we discussed it. We had discussed it that if someone is trained in Java or Python or .NET or SQL or cloud or DevOps, right? Performance testing suits them, right? Python will be useful for because we have some Python based performance testing tool called Locust, and then Java will be useful because 60 to 70% of the applications that we do performance testing will be Java applications. SQL knowledge will be useful, cloud knowledge will be useful, DevOps knowledge will be useful for performance testing. So that is the beauty of performance testing career. Okay, and now yesterday I received an email. Regarding one opening in Naukri alerts. Okay, this I received this email yesterday, and if you see that this is one of the opening. So here they are asking, Databricks. This is a performance testing opening only. This is a performance testing opening only. But however, they have a different requirement. See, they are asking 2+ years of experience in performance testing with strong understanding of Databricks and Apache Spark, right? And actually, we are not covering. We are not covering the Databricks or Apache Spark in the training till now. On seeing this requirement, I am engaging one of my relatives to give training on Databricks. Already there are some people who are trained on JMeter and LoadRunner. So what are we planning is, we are planning to give this Databricks training, Databricks and Apache Spark training, right? We have some, one of our cousin is working in Databricks only. So I asked him morning, I spoke with him when I'm coming in my, on my way to Amirpet. I spoke with him and he said, yes, he can provide the training. So ilanti vaatiki for these kind of openings, you will have very less competition because performance testing with Databricks is a very, very rare combination. So if they properly utilize this opportunity, they will get wonderful salary, double package also ilanti vaatilo. Because it's very difficult to find someone performance test engineer with Databricks and Apache Spark combination. Okay, so we are going to start this training. We are going to start this training very soon. Freshers kaadu idi, this is for experienced guys, by the way. And Snowflake also, we have one of our relatives working on Snowflake. So he said, yes, I can provide training on that Snowflake. Okay, so we'll soon start it. You'll see that in my WhatsApp status very soon. Mostly by end of this week, we will start this, or maybe tomorrow we'll start this. First, we'll start Snowflake or Databricks, one of them. Okay, so if anyone is interested, you can join. It will be free training for you. For our students, it will be free. If you are interested, you can join. All right. So having said that, now let us go to, so you can see how many openings are there in performance testing, right? We see that, all these are performance testing related openings. And most of the, most of the openings are for Infosys, if you observe. And Value Labs also. Value Labs is also having a lot of openings for performance testing. And, they said 3 openings actually, because I got a call last week. I got a call there and she said that, HR said that, they are having some 3 openings in Value Labs for performance testing. Okay. So what are they asking? Knowledge of performance testing types, which is what we discussed yesterday, right? Or we are currently discussing it, isn't it? Strong scripting skills that you will get it next month. By end of next month, you will be strong in scripting, and you will be completing JMeter scripting by end of next month, right? Okay. Now, what did we discuss yesterday? Let me open up your class notes document. And please refer any friends who are, who are learning SQL or learning Java. Ask them to, come attend this training also. ask them to show the receipt of that training. I'll give some discount for them because they already paid fees. If they already paid fees, okay. If they show that receipt, if they produce that receipt, we'll make some discount, and they will try parallelly. They'll, even if they are learning Java there or SQL outside, ask them to attend this training. They will get 50% discount. I'll give 50% discount in the fees, in our fees, right? So they can try parallelly in both of them. So both Java or SQL or whatever it is, they are learning, and then performance as well, right? So yeah, let's get started. We'll make the discount based on the assessment. We have an assessment, right? We'll make the discount based on the assessment. Okay. So before we start today's session, let us have a quick assessment. Okay. So Archana, what are the different performance test types? 4th one is spike testing, right? Did you complete, how many recorded sessions did you complete? 3. Okay. Only 3 till now. Why? Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. You are from computers background only, right? No. You are from AC. Triple E. Okay. Okay. So all 3 of you are from Triple E. Tanu EC and EC. Okay. Okay. All right. So it will take some time for non-computers background guys. Okay. I understand. So, but please try to complete as soon as possible. Okay. Try to complete on 3 more today, if possible. Right. And also, please follow the current sessions also. Okay. So you don't have much dependency on the previous day concepts, right? Performance, know your computer key, ninnat session kya, is there any dependency on the previous session and yesterday's session and previous know your computer fundamentals? No, right? You don't have any dependency on for yesterday's session on that fundamental sessions, right? So basics law, you will not have much dependency. You will not have too much of dependency. So, don't miss track of these current sessions. Okay. All right. So yesterday we discussed load testing, soak testing, stress and spike. Now today we'll discuss, volume testing. What is volume testing? Okay. So what is volume testing? Volume testing is done to verify the response times of the application when there is huge volume of data in the database. Volume testing is done to verify response times of an application when there is huge volume of data in the database, right? So what is the meaning of this huge volume of data? Ante? Suppose there is a new application, there are very less number of records in the database, right? There are less number of records in the database. When you are trying to access the application, it may be faster. Records takku unnapudu, or else, let us take one example. You have a bookshelf. Let's say you bought a bookshelf and you kept only 5 or 10 books. Then, if you want to pick a book, it will be easy for you to pick it, isn't it? Right? But what if, after 1 year or 2 years, suppose you have a lot of books in the bookshelf, it will be difficult to find out that, right? Slightly difficult, right? So similarly, like when you are, as we are using the application, any software application, suppose, you are using net banking, Amazon application, let's say, okay, you are using Amazon application. And let's say you are placing some orders. If you want to track orders, I'll go to my Amazon account. Okay. So you can track orders, right? You can see the past orders, isn't it? 1 second. Let me stop recording. So, see, I have some past orders, right? So, of course, and we use this account, very rarely, of course, right? If there are, 10 or 20 records or 30 records, this page will be loaded faster. But what if you have hundreds of records or thousands of records, thousands of orders? That will be taking some time, right? As the number of records in the database increase, your application performance may decrease, right? It may be slow, I'm not saying that must and should are slow and all, right? It may be slow, isn't it? So as number of records in the database increase, right, then then your application may be becoming slower, isn't it? So volume testing is done to verify the response times when there is number of records, when there is huge volume of data in the database. For example, there are 1 lakh records, 2 lakh records, right? So then the application may becoming slower slowly because there are number of records in the database and indexing is not done properly. Okay, indexing is not done properly. What is indexing? What is meant by indexing? See, suppose if you know now you have a bookshelf and you are keeping all the books randomly, let's say, right? Then it will be, suppose you want to book some, you want to pick up some computer networks book, or else you want to pick some uh, Java textbook. But if you are keeping randomly, it will be difficult for you to search, right? But if you are keeping all the programming languages books into one shelf, if you are keeping testing books into one shelf, then it will be easy for you, right? Right? That is called as indexing, right? If you are arranging in some proper order, right? Then it will be easy for. Yes, sir. So similarly here also, in database we have a concept called indexing. We'll discuss it later. Or how many of you started that SQL tutorials? Those who attended previous sessions, how many of you started SQL tutorials? Viswa? You started with Word and Excel. Okay. You started with that assignment. Okay. I'm giving some assignments in the Google Classroom, right? So please make sure that you are added to the Google Classroom. So this is your Google Classroom for June batch. And where the first assignment that I gave is Excel and Word basics, right? I asked you to learn Excel and Word basics by going through the recorded sessions. Please start it. Okay. I know I did not add everyone. So I'll, I will add, I'll add your email IDs, others also. Today I will close this. Okay. So when there are, when there are less number of records, your application may be in the database, then your application may be responding faster. But when there are lakhs of records, right? Your database, your application database will not store your records only, right? So it will store every user records, right? So as number of records in the database increase, your application may be becoming slower. So we do volume testing to find out that whether, how are the response times when there is huge volume of data in the database. Okay. It is also referred as flood testing. Volume testing is also referred as flood testing. Okay. This is not so important, but we have one graph today. After today's session, so once I complete this, I am going to show you some graphs, and you need to identify what type of test does that graph best represents. Okay. Did you watch the recorded session, Arun? Right? Okay. So scalable, next volume testing is done to analyze the system performance by increasing the volume of data in the database. If you want to do volume testing, you should have huge data in the database, or you should have thousands or lakhs of records in the database, right? So we insert some data and then we do the volume testing. If we don't have enough test data, right? And then next type of testing is scalability testing. The next type of testing is scalability testing. Scalability testing is performed to identify if the application is capable to scale up in terms of user load. It is performed to identify if the application is capable to scale up in terms of user load. What is the meaning of it? Suppose, right now Facebook is, let's say for example, we'll take, Insta example. Okay, Facebook has become outdated, right? So it is Insta example. So yesterday I had shown you one website, right? To see how many users a website is having, how much traffic a website is having. You remember that? Let me go to that. Let us use that website. Anvesh gave one website, right? Anvesh told one website yesterday, to see the number of, the traffic on any website, isn't it? There is that. Anvesh, do you have that link handy? I had saved it somewhere.
Yeah, Pawan, I will share you again.
Can you please share it if you have it handy?
Yeah.
Or else we can check in the history, right? We can check in the browser history, right? Go to history and check it over here.
Even
It may be there here. Okay. It has overridden. So basically it is showing only recent last 10 tabs only. Last 10 websites only. So that is why we are not seeing it. Isn't it? Sign in to see tabs from other devices. Grouped history.
I shared it in
Can you
the
please
group.
share that link? Did you share it already?
Yeah, I shared it in the group.
Yeah, I think we had this. I had shared it in the batch
Yeah.
WhatsApp group, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Anish. Okay. Let us see how many users Instagram is having. I'm curious to see that. Okay. Instagram.com. Any expectation? Any numbers? Any guess? Huh? 1.8 billion, it seems. Right? 1.8 billion. Wonderful. Okay. So people will become mad if Instagram or WhatsApp are down, right? All right. So now, like, what are we discussing? Why did we come there? Yeah. Suppose, Instagram is having 1.8 billion users now, isn't it? Now, let's say by next year, how much the traffic will be? Will it be 1.8 or less or more? It may get doubled, isn't it? It may get doubled, right? So now the Instagram server should support those many number of users, that future user load. Let us assume that right now 1.8 billion users are there, right? In the morning time, we have less number of users. Check that website in the evening. Check that website in the evening, you'll see very big number, more than this. Now, let's say by next year, let's say Instagram is estimating that they will have 5 billion users. Let's assume that by next year, there will be 5 billion users, right? Now, this is servers. Now, Instagram server should be able to support that user load, right? That future user load also, right? They need to plan it, right? They need to plan it and they need to increase their server capacity, isn't it? So for that, we do scalability testing. Scalability testing is something which we do for future user load. Clear, guys? That is something we do for the future user load. I think I had mentioned it over here, somewhere here, right? This is testing an application for future user load. That is scalability testing. Whether the server application is scalable or not. Clear? So that is scalability testing. Okay. And then next comes failover testing. One last type of testing is failover testing. Not so important, but you have to know that. You need to know that, but not so important, but we need to know that. Now, what is failover testing? Before discussing failover testing, I'll give some example. Okay. I'll give some examples so that you will not forget that. Right? Suppose there are frequent power cuts in your area. Let's say there are frequent power cuts in your area. Then you'll go for a backup, right? If you don't want power cuts, you'll go for a backup, right? You may be buying a generator or an inverter, isn't it? So let's say you bought an inverter for your home, and then you call the electrician, right? And electrician will ask what are the important electrical points you want to get connection, right? So ఇంట్లో ఒకళ్ళు చెప్తారు, I want for TV, I want for internet అంటారు. Sir, no. Okay, so he'll give the connections, and before he leave or before he asks the payment, what will he do? Just connections ఇచ్చేసి వెళ్ళిపోతాడా డబ్బులు తీసుకొని, or will you pay him without testing it? No, right? So what does he do usually after giving all the electrical connections for all the important electrical points, right? What does he do generally? He'll switch off the mains power. He'll switch off the mains power, and then he will check whether all the electrical connections are working or not. Working or not on the inverter, right? But every electrical connection will not work, right? So they will not give for geyser and AC and all this, isn't it? Because those are not so important. Our inverter cannot bear that load capacity, isn't it? So they will give for fans and lights and maximum TV or internet point, and then they will test whether all those are working on the inverter or not. If the mains power is down, they will turn off the mains power and then they will test it, right? And now once it is confirmed that these are working on the backup or the inverter, then he will again switch on the mains power. Once the mains power is up and running, right? Again, this should work on that mains power, not on that inverter. They should not be load on that stabilizer inverter, isn't it? Yes or no? Because When mains power is up and running, right? They should not work on they should not consume charging from the inverter or from the battery, isn't it? Right? So you are from electrical background, right? So you know better than us, right? So this is called as failover. Did you hear this failover testing? The word failover, right? So this is failover testing in that that scenario. Now for software applications also, every software application will have a main environment. Every software application will have a main environment and a backup environment. Okay, because see, I'll give you some examples. Okay, for example, let us take SBI net banking application. State Bank of India is having its headquarters in Mumbai. State Bank of India, of course, most of the banks are having headquarters in Mumbai only. I know that State Bank is there because when I was working for Tech Mahindra used to do one project for State Bank of India, performance testing of State Bank of India net banking website. Okay, online SBI or something. Online SBI, SBI online. What is that website? Anyone having SBI net banking? Yeah, online SBI.SBI, right? So this is their net banking application, right? SBI, State Bank, belonging to State Bank of India. Now, like previously, of course, right now it is running in cloud, but previously, they have SBI was having all their servers in the headquarters, Mumbai headquarters. SBI used to have all their servers in their headquarters. Okay, at that time, suppose and last year or before last year, we got severe floods in Mumbai, right? We got severe floods in Mumbai, and normal life was disrupted. Yes, sir. Almost 1 or 2 weeks there is no power. We got severe floods in Mumbai, right? Now at that time, your servers may not be working, right? Or suppose there is a earthquake. So let's say, for example, let us take Japan example. Japan is very famous for earthquakes, right? Suppose there is an earthquake in Japan, and let's say in the city where we have an online application servers, there is an earthquake in a city where we have our application running. Now all the cables will be broken, internet will be lost, and your servers will not be working. Yes, sir. There will be power outages. When there is an earthquake, there will be power outages also, right? It will take some time to restore them, all of them, isn't it? So when there are any natural calamities like this, and suppose if your servers are impacted due to this, right? Or else, last couple of years before, we got Hudud Tufan in Vizag, and now at that time there are power disruptions, right? Completely there is power disruption. There is no power. There is no internet for weeks together, isn't it? Right? So now in that case, suppose if your main environment is down for that reason because of any natural calamities, these are not in our control, right? We can't control them or we can't avoid them, isn't it? So now your main environment is down, all your servers are down, but rest of the world should be able to use net banking application, right? Rest of the world is working, they should be able to perform their activities as regularly or without any delay, isn't it? So every application will have a backup environment in some other location. They will set up the backup environment in some other city, so that if one geographic location is impacted, the other location will be serving the users. The other backup environment will be serving the users. So every software application will have a main environment and a backup environment. Now that is not enough if you have a backup environment, right? We need to also test, if the main environment is down, all the user requests, you are sitting in Hyderabad and you are accessing the application. Now your request, if the main environment is up and running, it should go to main environment. If the main environment is down, your request should go to the backup environment, isn't it? Automatically, it should go to backup environment. You will be using the same URL. You will be using the same URL. You will not be aware of all this. Whether your request is whether your main server is up and running, or we are not bothered about it, isn't it? We'll use the same URL, but the request should go to backup environment if main environment is down, isn't it? And again, that backup environment, once the main environment is up and running, now our request should go to main environment only, because backup environment will not be as powerful as main environment. So it may be slower. Yes, sir. It may be slower. When your fans and lights are working on inverter, did you observe that fan will be it will not be running in it at its full capacity, right? Because backup environment will be having less capacity, isn't it? So once the main environment is up and running, now your user request, in the case of software applications, your user request should go to the main environment only, but not backup environment, isn't it? Backup environment request only one main environment is down, then only your application should route the request to the backup environment. Clear? So this testing is called as failover testing. What is failover testing? It is used to verify the application's ability to continue day-to-day operations while the processing part is transferred to a backup environment. Right? When the processing, when your requests are, when you're accessing any application, if your requests are going to backup environment, I mean, if main environment is down, you should go to backup environment. If backup main environment is up, the request should go to main environment only, but not backup environment, isn't it? So what we do is in software, in performance testing, what we do is we'll start a test. First, we'll start a load test, right? With both main and backup environments up and running. Okay. We'll start a load test and your user load, all the user requests will go to main environment first, because main environment is running. We'll go to main environment. After some time, after half an hour or after some time into the test, after some time, after few minutes into the test, after few minutes into the test means after running the test for a couple of minutes, what we do is we will switch off the main servers. We will shut down the main servers. Just like an electrician example. Okay. We will bring down the main servers. Main servers means servers in the main environment. We'll bring down the servers in the main environment. Now what should happen? Your user request should go to backup environment without any involvement, without any other involvement, right? Now the user request should go to backup environment. Now we'll let it run for some time, right? Let's say half an hour, we'll see whether backup environment is able to serve the request or not, right? So once we confirm that that the backup environment is working, backup environment is able to serve the user request. Maybe slower, it may be slower, but it should be able to serve the request. Serve the user access, right? User access request. We need to start that main environment servers again. We need to start the main environment servers again. After that, all the user requests should go to main environment only. There should not be any request going to backup environment. Okay. All the user requests should go back to main environment. Right? So this is called as failover testing, as simple as that. You understood inverter example, right? Everyone might have experienced that inverter example, right? Then you will not forget this failover testing, right? So this is called as failover testing. If main environment fails, then the backup environment is taking that or not. So that is called as failover testing. Okay, simple, right? What is failover testing?
Yes, sir.
With this example, it should be clear. It should be clear, and you should be able to answer that in the interviews if they ask, right? So these are the different types of performance testing. Now, any queries, guys? We are done with these different types of performance testing. Now, any queries?
Sir, in failure testing, once the backup is initiated, so again, how the request will be come back to the main server. Backup server is already we are using it by switching off the main servers, right?
Right.
So again, the request that should be routed
again once we start the
server.
servers, right? So the next user request may be coming. Already backup environment that that request may be completed. But after that, any new user request, okay, maybe there is I'm not clear here. After that, any new user request, right? Any new user request should go back to the main environment. Okay. See, there will be, this is called as server cluster. Basically, this is called as, clustering. When you have two environments also, we do server clustering. Clustering చేసినప్పుడు your request, once the main environment is up, right? request will come to back to the main environment. That will be, that you'll have that architecture in place. Okay, that is called as server clustering, and you'll have that architecture in place. We need not worry about that. Our job is to test whether that is happening or not. Okay, but this is the process, this is the process that we follow in failover testing. This is how we do failover testing. We'll start the test, run it for some time, 15 minutes or half an hour, then bring down the main servers, means stop the main servers. Then your request should go back automatically to routed to backup environment, right? And we'll continue the test for half an hour to see whether, backup environment, how much user load can it support, right? Or how are the response times. And then after another half an hour, we'll bring up the main servers. Now, once main servers are up and running, the user request should, any new user request should come to main environment. Or if there are any requests, if there are any requests in process, they will also be transferred to the main environment. That mechanism will be in place. Okay. So this is called as failover testing. Clear?
Yes, sir.
We don't do that in every project. We don't do that. Moreover, nowadays we have cloud applications, right? Most of the applications are running in cloud. So you will not have main environment and backup environment. So cloud environment, that is a different architecture. Altogether a different architecture. We'll discuss it later. We'll discuss these cloud concepts in the last 1 week. We'll discuss. I'll explain what is AWS and what is Azure and GCP. I'll give some basics. And whatever required for performance engineers, I'll cover that. Okay. So yeah. So these are the different types of testing, that we do normally. But remember that any application requires first these these 2 types of testing. These are mandatory for any application. These are optional. Next important ones are stress and spike testing, and these are rest all are optional. Based on the requirement, you do that, right? So don't get scared or don't think that we need to do all types of testing. No, we need not do all type of testing for every application. These 2 are mandatory first. In interviews also, when they ask what are the different types of performance testing, first mention load test and then soak test. Don't start with stress test or spike test. Okay. So start with load test and then soak test, because these are mandatory. Then you mention about stress and spike if required, because we will do that based on the requirement only. Clear, guys? So now any queries, guys? Any other queries? So if you don't have any queries, we will go to the assessment. Now I am going to show you some graphs, and you need to identify what type of test does the graph best represents. Okay. Please note that I'll explain about the graph first. Please give me 2 minutes. I know that you are curious to answer, so please hold on for a few minutes. I'll explain the graph. And in interviews, they will not show you graphs. They will ask you to share your screen and draw the graph. Okay. In interviews, they will ask you to share your screen if you are attending online interview. If you are attending offline interview, you will have resume, right? Resume you will have backside, you have to take one side print only, right? So backside, they will ask you to draw the graph or to write some, they will ask you to write some functions, right? Etc. Okay. So, you have to take one side print only, right? So we have some smart people, interview lo, Rayman adutunarani, they took 2-side print. Then the interviewers, if this really happened in our organization. Okay. It happened, in my known case only, like one of my previous batch student. So, interview CV lo backside రాయమంటున్నారు అని చెప్పి he took 2-side print and he went to the interview. Then HR, then the interviewer asked HR to get a bunch of papers. మొత్తం ఒక 10 papers fill చేయించాడు. Okay. Anyways, so they will ask you to draw the graph. Okay, they will not draw the graph and they will not, ask you to identify the graph. But as you are in learning stage, I am showing you some graphs, and let me first explain the graph. Okay, so I need to explain few points about this. So you may be knowing this already. Some of you may be knowing this. This is called as what axis? AXIS. What is that? This horizontal line is called as x-axis, right? X-axis. And this vertical line is called as this vertical line is called as y-axis, right? Everyone knows this, right? So y-axis. So always remember that on x-axis, test duration will be mentioned on the x-axis. On the x-axis, test duration will be mentioned, test time. And here 1H means 1 hour. Okay. You see the tilde symbol. What is that symbol read as? What is that symbol called as? That has some name. What is that? No, E symbol. On your keyboard, it will be just below escape. That is tilde. That is read as tilde. Okay. TILD. Right? You see that tilde? You see the symbol over there? Yes or no? That is approximate. That is used for approximate. Okay. That is used for approximate. Okay. Now this, what does this mean? Approximately 1 hour. The test duration is approximately 1 hour. And on y-axis, we are representing virtual users. Okay. So what does this graph means? We are starting the load test here and gradually increasing the user load. We will gradually increase the user load. When you are doing performance testing, we will gradually increase the user load, right? Because for any application, as soon as you wake up, you will not open Instagram, right? Or you open it, you do that. Or, as soon as they wake up, everyone will not look at Instagram or WhatsApp, right? Slowly slowly users will be starting, some may be waking up at 6 o'clock, some may be waking at 5 o'clock, right? Yesterday, I saw someone online at 3 o'clock. What are you? I don't know what they are doing. I saw them in WhatsApp, online on WhatsApp, around 5 o'clock in the morning, today morning. Okay. So users will be starting using the application slowly from the morning, isn't it? So that's why we increase the user load slowly. Say, observe here, y-axis represents virtual users. That means we are slowly increasing the user load. We are slowly increasing the user load. And then we are, see, this is called as a ramp up period, right? This period is called as, when you are increasing the users, right? This period is called as a ramp up period. Ramp up period. Okay. Where we are slowly increasing the user load. That is called as ramp up period. And this is called as, see, observe here, from this point to this point, I'll draw a line there. Okay. From here to here, there is no change in the user load, right?
Steady
We are
state.
maintaining that is called as steady state. So please, you need to draw the graphs, guys. Please understand this, or please remember this. Try to assimilate this. So from here to here, this is called as steady state. Means in steady state, there is no change in the user load. Okay. And then this is called as ramp down period. So this is about graph. This is about this graph. Okay. See, from here to here, I'll draw it here. Okay. From here to here, see, this is called as a ramp down period. So I'm not good in drawing. Oh, okay. I need to take a freehand curve. Isn't it freehand curve? Freehand curve kada idi. This line. Okay, let it be. So this is ramp down period. I'm trying to draw a curly bracket. Okay, I'm trying to draw a curly bracket. I got it. Okay, wait. See, this is called as from here to here. This is called as ramp down, and from here to here, this is called as ramp up, and this is steady state. Okay. So these are some, performance testing graphs. You need to know those concepts. Okay. Now, can you identify what type of test does this graph best represents? Yes. Yes. Chip.
Yeah, load test.
Load
There is no
test.
negative marking here. Chip.
Load test.
Load test. I got the correct answer from her. Okay. So this is load test because, you see here, this is mentioned as 1 hour. And you remember yesterday we had discussed it. Load test, we do load test, for usually for 1 to 2 hours. Yes or no? Load testing usually done for 1 to 2 hours and no. Right? That is why I'm saying what does this graph best represents. Okay. Now shall I move to the next graph? Any queries here? Right? Now, once I show the graph, observe what is on x-axis, what is on y-axis. Try to understand that graph first. Because as I told you in interviews, you need to draw the graphs. You need to draw, you need to write down that x-axis represents test duration, right? Y-axis represents virtual users, right? And now what type of test does this graph best represents?
Endurance test.
So
Who is that? What type of test does this graph best represents? Someone said it
soak
right.
test.
And
Spike
Soak
endurance
test.
test.
Someone said soak test. Someone said endurance test. Both are same, right? Any other answers? Wonderful. We are
Spike
getting different
It takes
answers.
more.
Huh?
So spy testing.
Okay. Anulikta is saying it is spike test. What does that graph best represents, Archana? Soak test. What is soak test? Long duration. But is there any duration specified there? అక్కడ ఏమైనా డ్యూరేషన్ ఉందా ఎక్కడైనా? నేను చెప్పానా ఇన్ని అవర్స్ జరిగిందని? Then what does now let her answer. Viswa? Spike testing. Viswa is saying spike testing. Your answer?
Instead of the explanation, I'd say failover, plus there's nothing mentioned, and you can also take the controls and the normal what is called interactions on this to the way and
Okay. Arun, you did not join yesterday's session, right? Yeah, any other answers, guys? So Anlikta gave right answer. It is spike test. Anlikta and Vishwa gave right answer. These are spike tests. This graph best represents a spike test. Guys, that is why I explained here. Andike explain chesanu nenu ikkada, ramp up, steady state, ramp down. Right? See, observe here. We ramped up the users here. User load got ramped up here. Right? This is ramp up duration. Right? And assume that this is your normal user load on the application. And we have two spikes in between, right? For shorter duration, right? That is what spike test is. That is the definition of a spike test, right? What is a spike test? Spike test is done by sudden increase in the user load beyond expected load for shorter durations, isn't it? So this graph best represents a spike test. There is no duration. I did not mention any duration here. Why did you say soak test, Archana? And someone also online also told soak test, soak or endurance test. Why? You like that soak or endurance test? So this graph, see, if you assume that is why I had explained here. No, like ikkada andike explain chesindi meeku. This ramp up antaru, this steady state antaru, and this is ramp down antaru ani. Okay. So here we are ramping up the users, and let us see, this is a normal user. Assume that this is the normal user load. And in between there are two spikes. There is sudden increase in the user load. Inka cheppalante correct ga this graph best represents any application. Can you assume any application which can you tell me any application ante ee spike test ee pattern chuste, do you remember any application where there will have two spikes? Huh? What is that? Book my show. Okay. IRCTC, right? So this spike is related to 10 to 11 non-AC, and this is related to AC, or this is related to AC and first Tatkal window, second Tatkal window, right? Yes or no? So when you have, when as soon as Tatkal window opens, there will be a sudden surge in the user load, right? So this graph, if you want to relate this to any application, you can relate this to IRCTC application, right? First AC window opens, right? Or sleeper. Which one open first? AC. Yeah. So, for AC, there will be less number of people, obviously. But for general, you will have more number of people. So this graph represents, if you want to correlate this with any application, IRCTC is the best one. Agree? Okay. Anyways, this graph represents spike tester. If they ask you in interviews, they may ask you to draw the graph for spike testing. Definitely, they will ask you guys if the interviewer is a good interviewer, right? He's having passion about performance testing. You definitely ask these kind of questions. Can you draw a graph for spike testing? Can you draw a graph for stress testing? Or can you draw a graph for volume testing? Right? So when you attend some interviews, some interviews you'll feel very good. That I got very good questions and feel author, right? So if the interviewer is very passionate about performance testing, or if you are doing well, if you are doing interview well, you can expect these kind of questions. Okay. Now I'll go to the next graph. What does this graph best represents? Again, there is no duration here. There is no duration here. Observe there, we are gradually increasing the
Stress test.
user load.
Stress. Stress test.
Anvesh is saying stress
Scalability
testing.
testing.
Huh?
Scalability testing.
Scalability testing. So scalability, yeah. So stress test, we can say not scalability test. That's why I'm saying, what does this graph best represents on? So
Gradually.
what is happening here? Observe here. We are gradually increasing the user load, right? See, observe here on y-axis, you have virtual users. And now see, we increase the user load, maintain some steady state, again increasing the user load, again maintaining steady state, again increased user load, again maintain some steady state. So we are gradually increasing the user load. And what is that test referred to? Gradual stress testing is done by gradual increase of user load, right? Until the application breaks, isn't it? So we are gradually increasing the user load. So here in this graph, we are gradually increasing the user load. So this graph best represents a
Gradual
stress
increase.
test,
Stress test.
right? This graph best represents a stress test. Now, how about this one? Let me clear the drawings. Please wait. Please wait. Yeah. Now, what does this graph best represents? Achha.
5 hours.
Pravalika?
Endurance testing.
Pravalika, let me ask Pravalika. నేను కూడా ఫీజు కట్టాను కదా అనుకుంటున్నాను. నన్ను అడగట్లేదు అనుకుంటా. Huh? Why? How can you say that it is soap test? You are correct, but why? 19x. Right. So if you see there on the x-axis, you see 5H, 5 hours, right? So this graph best represents a soak or endurance test, right? Now one last one. So we'll ask for, we'll give it for online participants. Okay. Let me Supraja. So this question is for Supraja. So what does this graph best represents? Two minutes, huh?
Stress testing, sir. Stress testing.
Stress testing. Then what is this one? If this is stress test, what is this one? You mean to say both the graph represent, stress testing? Just before, few minutes before I asked you to check the x-axis and y-axis, right? What is x-axis is test duration only. Test duration is always represented on x-axis. Okay. On y-axis, what do you have on y-axis? You have data quantity, right? So what does this graph best represent? Supraja?
Volume testing, sir.
Huh?
Volume.
Volume. Nagendra, is it correct? Supraja is saying, volume testing. Is it correct? Nagendra? Satya?
I think it's scalability testing, sir.
Scalability testing. Okay. Sumit?
Is it a spike testing because user is suddenly increases? Not the suddenly, yeah. Spike testing.
No, are we, see, spike
Uh-huh.
testing we had already discussed, right? There
Uh,
you have virtual users on the y-axis, but here we are
Yeah.
talking about data quantity,
right. Yeah. So,
right?
hmm. Yeah.
Do you want to change your answer, Satya?
Yeah.
It's 66.
Huh?
I think it's scalability, if I'm not wrong.
Volume
No, it's what
testing.
is scalability testing? It is testing for a future user load, right? So here, see, okay, here it is data quantity. Data quantity and number of records, basically. Of course, this is a bit confusing. I'll change this data quantity. Maybe I need to mention records in the database and then, it may,
Then it's volume.
you may strike it, but yes, someone said it correctly, right? So who is that? Who said volume testing? Tejasvi, right? Yeah, this graph best represents volume testing because, on see the y-axis, I already told that. Observe what is there on x-axis and what is there on y-axis. On y-axis, you have data quantity. right? That is nothing but number of records in the database.
Cube,
Okay.
cube data in database because
What is that? Data will be residing in the database, right? So database data quantity means nothing but number of records. So this graph best represents volume testing, right? So we'll stop it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow, guys. Okay. So we had 1 hour session. So at what time did we start? Oh, sorry, this is May batch. 1 second. Okay. Any queries, guys, before we close today's session? Approximately 1 hour, right? And what did we discuss? Assessment on different types of, what did we discuss today? Scalability testing.
Failover testing.
failover testing.
Scalability, failover testing,
Volume.
and
Volume.
then volume, right?
Spike testing.
Volume, failover testing, and then graphs, right?
Graphs based on this.
Graph representing different performance test types. All right. So we'll stop it here, guys, for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay. Any queries, guys, before we close today's session? Okay. So by the way, today morning I had given one, I had announced one referral scheme in the morning batch. So I just want to explain you also. In the morning batch, I had made one announcement that, if you refer any friends and if they attend offline training, so you will get 5,000 as referral benefit. Okay. So you can refer any of these, like any graduation is fine. Any degree is enough. Okay. Qualification is any degree. Minimum qualification is any degree, any graduate. Okay. And even if they are trained in Java or Python or .NET or SQL or anything, right? If they show me the fees receipt, and we'll conduct some assessment and we'll make some discount for them. Okay. So you refer just a mark enti ante, you will get 5,000 as referral amount if they attend offline. If they attend offline, you will get 5,000 as referral amount. If they attend online also, you will get some referral amount. You will get, 1,000 for each tool. For LoadRunner 1,000, and if they attend JMeter also, another 1,000. If it is online, clear, guys, right? And any graduates who passed out in 2015 to 2025, you can refer any of this, either freshers or those who are having career gap, those who took some training, right? Already they took some training also, you can refer them, for them performance testing, as I told you, if they are trained in Java or if they are good in Java, it will be good. Performance testing career will be good, or Python, it will be good, or .NET, it will be good. For SQL, it would be good, right? If they are already trained on SQL, if they are good on SQL, or if they are trained on some, AWS or Azure or something, if they are struggling to get the job, ask them to join this training. We will give some fees discount for them, additional fees discount, but they should produce the fees receipt. Okay. And then most of the people are paying Google Pay and Phone Pay, right? That is also fine. And DevOps are, any qualification is fine for that matter. Okay. So even if they are hotel management, we have some people from B Pharmacy background also previously. B Pharmacy or D Pharmacy, I don't remember it exactly. So let me check. One student called Prashanti joined, from pharmacy background. This lady. Okay. Of course, long back, but her qualification was B Pharmacy, and she was the first person to get the job in her batch. For a batch, we used to have 40 to 50 people batch at that time. Okay. I'll show you that, I maintain an Excel sheet. Let me pause recording for a moment. Prashanti Kalla from Rajahmundry, right? So you have her mail ID and phone number. You can check with her, right? And she's now working in Bangalore. She got a very good product-based company. And we have people from hotel management who got job. Vignesh and one guy called Vignesh, who is from hotel management background, right? So this guy, Vignesh Jiduguan, he joined, one of his friend referred him, and he's working in Bangalore now in a wonderful job, right? So we have people from hotel management, and then we have people from, Mohana. You see that last line lo, I think, that first lady, Mohana. Her qualification, see her qualification. I'm referring to the, wall of fame in the classroom, guys. Okay. So Mohana qualification is MSc chemistry. She got job. She's working in Capgemini now. Now she's working in Capgemini, Bangalore, I think. Huh? Chennai. Okay. I don't remember that. So, any qualification, any degree is enough for us. Any degree qualification is enough, but it should be a full-time degree. Correspondence degree not allowed. Okay. Correspondence degree, one, you have, okay, sir, exams one day. What is that? In one sitting, you'll get degree qualification. What is that? So those are not allowed. Okay. It should be open degree. Yeah. Open degree is not allowed. So it should be full-time degree. And 15 years of full-time education is enough. Okay. So, I'll show you with evidence. I'll speak with data. Okay. I'll show you evidence so that, even TCS allows 15 years of full-time education. That is enough for them. Okay. BTech and MC are not required for testing career. Right. So you see here, 15 years of full-time education is enough for testing. And this is the post from TCS, right? Are you able to see it, or shall I zoom in? Do you see that? This is from TCS, and you see, like, what is the minimum qualification that they are looking for? I'll do one thing. I'll download this and I'll zoom in. It should be clear now, right? So hiring for performance testing, Tata Consultancy Services, 1 to 6 years. 1 to 6 years, right? There are, that means we have openings for 1 year experience also. Okay, in performance. And then see the minimum qualification, 15 years of full-time education. That is what they are asking. They are not asking BTech, or they are not asking NCA, or they are not asking CSE, right? 15 years of full-time education is enough. That is a minimum qualification. This is from TCS, right? When TCS itself is accepting, any company will accept it. Most of the companies will accept that. Okay, for performance testing. So, refer any friends, and it will be very helpful for you as well, right? And for the entire training program, right? The more people you have, the more discussion will happen. Yes or no? Not only your doubts will be clarified, your batchmates' doubts also will be clarified, isn't it? That will be very beneficial for everyone. And those who want to attend offline, those who asked for offline, Nagendra and Tejasvi, try to come as soon as possible. Your batchmates are waiting here. Okay. Plan at least to come to offline by the time we start scripting. Scripting start just the time, you plan to come offline. Definitely, after once we start scripting, like online lo join, they'll come, 25% will come for offline if they are close to Hyderabad. Okay. So I'll stop it here. So, we are also introducing, I am also planning to conduct scripting contest this month or next month. Today it is 18th June, right? So maybe first week of next month I will be, because, I want you also to participate in that. Okay. First or second week of July, I am planning to conduct scripting contest. Previously also we had conducted that scripting contest, and we had invited one company's CEO for that scripting contest. Okay. And asked them, we had arranged, participation certificates, and asked them to distribute those participation certificates. And this time I am planning to keep one cash prize, 3 cash prizes, not just one. There will be 3 cash prizes for those who win in the scripting contest. And any guess how much amount it would be? First prize will be, last time I announced 3,000 for first prize, and 2,000 for second prize, and third prize is 1,000 last time, right? This time I am giving 10,000 as first prize. The first prize winner will get 10,000 cash prize on the spot. Okay, you'll get on the spot. And then second prize 5,000, third prize 2,000. Okay, so let me show you the pics of the last scripting contest. So we have it on our Insta page. మీరు పాడుతా తీగ ప్రోగ్రామ్ చూస్తారా? Gandhi Subbaragarani, like he will announce, actually for first prize winner will get 5 lakhs. But in the final question, he will double the amount. Did you see that? Okay. So I am tripling the amount now. Okay, from 3,000, I am making it first prize winner will get 10,000 as 10,000 for those who win in the scripting contest. We'll give a script and you should complete that script in the given time. We'll give 1 to 2 hours. Based on the script, we'll give you decide the timing. Okay. So basically what I do is, I'll ask one of the student, or I will do myself like slow guy, I'll do it and I'll see like if it is taking 1 hour for me, I'll give 2 hours time in the scripting contest because you may be doing slower, right? So we'll give 2 to 3 hours of time based on the complexity and, 10 plus 5 plus 2, right? 17,000 cash prizes. And for the venue and all, the venue we'll have it in our, Amirpet classroom, or we'll have a, different venue. Because, like prize distribution, yeah, we'll conduct it here or here in this office. We'll conduct scripting contest in this office. Okay. So you'll have a corporate environment. You'll have ID cards to enter that office and all, right? So one of my friend is owning that office in Madhapur, right? We'll have our scripting. There is a big hall there. So, there you'll have, we'll conduct this scripting contest over there. Okay. All right. So any queries? And we'll conduct the scripting contest every month, not just next month. We'll conduct the scripting contest every month going forward. Any queries? By 2030, I want to keep scripting contest cash prize as 1 lakh rupees. Okay, by 2030. That is my plan. I'll give 1 lakh cash prize for scripting contest winners by 2030. And the fees also will not be 20,000 at that time. Fees will be 1 lakh. Okay. How is it possible otherwise, right? So by 2030, our training fees will be 1 lakh for sure. And the prize also will be 1 lakh. I have to give 3 prizes, right? Okay, I'll stop it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow, guys. Okay, so dream big. Target some, you should have some big dreams, right? Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because our students got, see, last year or before last year, I told that I will make fresher to get 5 lakhs package, right? This year, our fresher got 15 lakhs package. 15 lakhs. Raghunath is his name, right? So, and like one MBA student got 6 lakhs package in Hyderabad recently. This month only, last Monday. Monday she got that, right? So we targeted 5 lakhs only for fresher, but our fresher got 15 lakhs package. Okay. So we need to raise the bar slowly. All right. So I'll stop it here for today. I'll continue tomorrow, guys.